ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا وسيئات اعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له واشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى اله وصحبه وسلم. Verse number 38 from Sorah Al-Baqarah. Verse 38 from Sorah Al-Baqarah. Okay. It's not 38?
No, I'm listening to you.
Thanks, 38.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. قلنا اهبطوا منها جميعا فإما يأتينكم مني هدى فمن تبع هداي فلا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون والذين كفروا وكذبوا بآياتنا أولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون. Which means we said, get down all of you from this place. Then whenever there comes to you guidance from me, and whoever follows my guidance, there shall be no fear in them, nor shall they grieve. But those who disbelieve and deny our ayat, such are the dwellers of the fire, they shall abide therein forever. This is the end of the story of Adam alayhi salam. The end of the story of Adam alayhi salam, and we should follow the sequence of how the ayat in Surah Al-Baqarah is taken us from one thing to the other, and the great benefits that we learn and we should learn of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealing to the Prophet ﷺ the way of life that we're supposed to follow, and to follow the examples and to learn from these stories and so on. Before the story of Bani Israel, or before the verses that talks about Bani Israel and the significance of this, the last two verses about the story of Adam alayhi salam, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted the repentance of Adam after he ate from the tree, disobeying the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and showing the enmity of shaitan, that an enmity that would stay forever till the day of judgment. And after that, the shaitan will be in hellfire. But till the day of judgment, the believers or the human beings, they have to oppose this enmity of the shaitan. Whoever is successful, knowing this enmity and taking the shaitan as an enemy, and knowing the ways of shaitan, and knowing the steps of shaitan, they are the successful ones. And those who follow the ways of the shaitan, they then the ones that will follow their own destruction. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after ordering Adam alayhi salam to go down to earth for an appointed time, not the way that they were in Jannah. In Jannah, they were supposed to stay in forever. But because of this sin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered Adam to come down onto the earth, him and his offspring, for a temporary time, and everybody shall return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the day of judgment. And in the day of judgment, either people will go to Jannah, their home, right, or go to the hellfire. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted the repentance of Adam, and this is something that we talked about last time. In this ayah, قُلْنَا اهْبِطُوا مِنْهَا جَمِيعًا. قُلْنَا, this is in the plural tense. قُل means say. قُلْنَا, we said. Right? And we said has two meanings in the Quran. قُلْنَا, if it's in the plural tense like this. Either as they call it the royal we, which they have it in English. Right? When a king speaks, he speaks in the plural tense. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most exalted, and this is something valid in the Arabic language. A person would speak in the plural tense and he means only himself, not more than one, only himself, but not anybody would speak like this, only those who are in a position of authority or kings and so on. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the king of all kings. Also, it comes into the meaning of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the angels, for example, right? The actions that will be done by the angels, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that appointed them, entrusted them to do something, so it will come in the plural tense. So here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, اهبطوا منها جميعا. اهبطوا means go down, right? Get down. And also this is in the plural tense, although Adam alayhi salam was only him and his wife. But who was ordered to go down? Adam, his wife, and Shaitan. Right? And the offsprings of Adam and the offsprings of the Shaitan. So the father of all the shayateen is Iblis, the one that refused to make the sujood. And from his offsprings, there can be disbelievers or believers. Among the jinn, there is believers and disbelievers. The disbelievers, they are the helpers of their father, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the thing that he would live till the day of judgment, which is different than the father of the human beings. Adam alayhi salam, he died. But for Iblis is alive till the day of judgment. And he works, and he is diligently working and sending his armies and deputies and shayateen all over the place. And for every person there is one with him, whispering to him. And shaitan is organizing this, and he is just someone that never get tired, never get bored. Right? His goal is to get these human beings as jinns and the whole human race. His goal is to get them all into the hellfire, as he took upon himself. This is his only job. Why? Because they're the reason for him that he will be in the hellfire, because he refused to make sujood to Adam alayhi salam. So someone like this, working diligently, never stops whatsoever, if it's opposed with relaxing mood among the human beings, forgetfulness, they don't care, that means they will follow the shaitan. And this is the sunnah of Allah anyway, even among the human beings. Someone is working on you to do something to you, right? An evil thing, and you're not doing anything to oppose this, you will be affected. Unless you will oppose this, you have to oppose it. And how do we oppose that? With the wahy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seeking refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the shaitan. And this is a separate subject that we need to know. What are the huruz, right? The hirz, the protection from shaitan. How to protect ourselves from the shayateen by knowing their steps and the way that they approach the human beings, and also by reciting Quran and specific verses in the Quran and so on. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered them to go down from it, from the Jannah, minha jami'an, all of you, right? Although Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted the repentance of Adam, and this is a matter of belief as it's mentioned in the Quran, not like others, like the Christians, for example, they think that the human beings are born with a sin. There's no evidence of that whatsoever, and the Quran is the truth. And when people are confused and they have distortions in the way and in the things that got altered and so on, they should have been waiting for the wahy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to judge between them. And that's why they were waiting for the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, the final messenger of Allah, and the revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring the truth so that the matter is finished and there is no more disputes. اهبطوا منها جميعا, all of you get down from it. فإما يأتينكم مني هدى. This is the order from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to all human beings from one generation to the other. And as we said last time, that if we ponder over this, we need to pay attention. This is the order to Adam alayhi salam and to his offspring. What is this wasiyah? What is this order? That you would live your life accordingly. This is the lifetime benefit for every single human being. And that's why the best benefits you get from someone, whether a person before he dies and he's giving his wasiyah, his last words. Like for example, what are the last words of the Prophet ﷺ? What is the last orders of the Prophet ﷺ to his ummah? This is very important for us to pay attention to, because this is the most important thing. The same thing, what is the words that were given to Adam alayhi salam when he was sent down to earth? These words are very, very important, because every single human being is in need of it. وَلَا يُنَبِّئُكَ مِثْلُ خَبِيرٍ, and no one shall inform you better than Al-Khabir, the all-knower, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's the mercy of Allah that it's only one word only, so that nobody would say, I'm confused, it's too many things we're supposed to do. No, just one word. What is this one word? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَإِمَّا يَأْتِيَنَّكُمْ مِنِّي هُدًى, which means every time, whenever. فَإِمَّا, whenever, يَأْتِيَنَّكُمْ, comes to you. See how the mercy of Allah comes to you, so it will come to you. Right? It will come to you. يَأْتِيَنَّكُمْ مِنِّي, from me. From Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, hudan, guidance. What is the guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What is the thing between Allah and His creation? Messengers and the books that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed. So whenever a messenger is sent, whenever guidance comes with the messenger, the revelation from Allah, a book that is given to a messenger, or a wahy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the messenger, what is this one word? فَمَنْ تَبِعَ هُدَيْ. تَبِعَ, that's the word. تَبِعَ. تَبِعَ means whoever follows. تَبِعَ, from it is al-ittiba'. right? This is the job of the human beings, to follow guidance, not to follow anything else. And you see in the Quran, if you take that one meaning and then read the Quran with this one meaning in your mind, right? And read the Quran from the beginning to the end, you will see what does that mean and how people are split into two groups with this. Some people, they follow the guidance from Allah, they're successful. They believe from one generation to the other. Stories, orders, ahkam, rulings, anything that you will find in the Quran. The people of Jannah, the people of the Hellfire, you will find that the people of Jannah are those who followed the guidance, followed it. And those who followed their desires, followed their leaders, followed their acquaintances, followed their forefathers, right? You would find this in the Quran. And this is the ways of the disbelievers. Either they follow their desire, they follow their forefathers, whether they're right or wrong, it doesn't matter, it's enough that it's their forefathers, or follow those who are of authority, those who have power, those who have means of oppressing others, right? They would follow them for many reasons. So when they did not follow the guidance from Allah, then this is all paths of their own destruction. So we need to look into things like this, and then we reflect upon ourselves so that we ponder over the verses. Are we following the guidance, not in the general terms, but in every specific thing in our life? Is the deen is the thing that we follow? Is the deen is the thing that makes us make decisions? Where even to live, where to go, how to put my children, where to put them in what school, take them out of school, what job should I take, which one should I get married to, what job should I take, anything. There's no decision that we would make. There's nothing that makes us even without any extremism in understanding. This is not exaggeration. Even for you to get up, to move, to take a step, right? What is making you go this or this way or that way? We have to follow the guidance. There is some guidelines and guidance in anything that we do. Even the slightest, the smallest thing that we know, we still have to follow the guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, فَمَنْ تَبِعَ هُدَيْ, what happens when they follow the guidance, which is the wahy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. Who is giving this assurance to the human beings? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ? This brings to you the happiness in every single detail of it, in your past, in your present time, in the future, for everlasting future. Who else, what human being would want anything more than this? فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. خوف عليهم is what's coming ahead. Khawf is fear. You fear of what's coming ahead. You don't fear what's in the past. Right? You fear if something in the past, you fear that it's come back again, right? So you fear what's coming ahead of you. You're afraid of it, right? Whether it's going to be good or bad. So these people, those who follow guidance, there is no fear, فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ, no fear on them. وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ, and they should not grieve, be sad. Sad about something that happened in the past. So at that moment when they're reciting the Quran and they follow the guidance and they follow the way of the Prophet ﷺ, then there is no fear unto them of what's coming ahead in this life, and connected to that is the hereafter. وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ, and there is no grief for them of anything that happened to them in their life, because if they are really following the guidance, they will have patience, they will seek rewards from Allah. Why? Because they would understand clearly that nothing happens without the wisdom of Allah. So whatever happened, it happened for a reason. What is the reason? The reason is to establish the ubudiyyah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's always the answer for anything that you want to answer when it comes why this happened, is to establish ubudiyyah to Allah. To establish the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What type of worship is it? There are many different types of worship. To be patient, to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to seek rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, to fulfill certain rights, to humble yourself. Maybe there was some arrogance, so you have to, get down into being humble, and many things, many benefits. If a person would treat it and live with it according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us. And also, فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ, you will find it also repeated in the Quran. And this is only to the believers. Only to the believers, this promise comes to them from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So either people would believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and believe that the promise of Allah is true, and if they do that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fulfill His promise. Or they would have no certainty, and then they would just live a life of misery. And it's a life of misery if a person does not follow guidance. They will never receive the real happiness. And if they deceive themselves and convince themselves it's only temporary, then after that it's the real misery forever. So the deen will never make you miserable. Right? What makes people hesitant? Should I hold fast to the deen? Should I not? Is the shaitan whispers to them that you would be poor, that you would lose so much fun, that you would be miserable, that you will be harmed, all these types of things. Who should you then believe and follow? This desire that comes to you, which is all from shaitan, whether it's shaitan from the human beings or from the real shaitan, or a person would follow what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, من عمل صالحا من ذكر أو أنثى وهو مؤمن فلنحيينه حياة طيبة. Whoever do righteous good deeds, male or female, فلنحيينه. We can never find more assurance than this, although Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need to swear for us to believe and to follow. He's the creator, He's the owner of all things. فلنحيينه, لا نحيينه, not لا, لنحيينه, لام القسم, which means swearing. Definitely, no doubt that we would make him live a goodly life. حياة طيبة. حياة, life, طيبة. طيبة means good, pure, with all what it means. That's why the most happiest people, the one that has this contentment and happiness and tranquility in the hearts is not panicking everywhere, are the believers. Those who will do righteous good deeds. So no fear for them, nor shall they grieve. So the real happy person is the one that takes his benefit and live his life accordingly. And we talked about al-ittiba' before. And of course we are followers of the Prophet ﷺ. Once he was sent, no more following to anyone but the Prophet ﷺ. All revelations before or messengers before, if they were alive, they would follow the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So he is the one to be followed in all of his actions and speech and what he approved of ﷺ. And to follow means, look at it what literally it means. It means that you don't do, you don't say, you don't even have desires that you would like and act according to it unless you get to know first what the Prophet ﷺ said, did, approved, and then you would follow. When you follow someone, you look at what he do first, and then you do second. You don't do and then, oh, you went this way, and then you went the opposite direction. Not following. You're following your own self, your own desire, someone else. And then maybe down the road, oh, you felt, or maybe I see where he's at. Am I far or close? This is not following. Following, that means before you take a step, you see first where he's going, and then you follow him. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would tell us. So this deen, again, when we said this statement many, many times, that we should always remember, this deen is about al-ittiba'. This deen is about following. As Sufyan al-Thawri rahimahullah, he said, وَجَدْتُ الْأَمْرَ al-ittiba'. I found that this matter, al-ittiba'. He found this, it's not an easy thing. This is a benefit that he got, rahimahullah, by really knowing the deen of Islam. That he found that this matter, this deen is about following. Al-ittiba', following the best man ever walked on the face of earth, and that is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, those who would not then follow and those who would disbelieve, وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَكَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِهِ. But those who disbelieve and deny our ayat, kafaru. So what al-kufr literally means in Arabic language comes from covering. And the kafir, disbeliever, but literally the farmer is called kafir too. Right? And it's mentioned in the Quran at the end of Surah Al-Fatih. Right? So, and it's mentioned, some people would read it, or kafir, no, it's meant the tiller or the farmer. The farmer is someone that would put the seed and would cover it. So that's why he's a kafir, right? He's covering the seed. So what does the kafir then, what is that meaning related to the disbelief? Because the disbelievers, they're covering the truth. They're covering the truth, right? Denying it, right? Rejecting it. Right? That means the truth is something so easy for them to understand and to believe in, but they're covering it and they're hiding it. And that's why their evil is so much. Why? Because they would hide the truth from others and from it to spread and so on. وَكَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِهِ. So they covered the truth and they disbelieve and they denied the ayat of Allah. As we said before, there are two types of ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first type is the ayat al-kawniyya, the universal ayat. Right? the two books, if it's correct to say that. One, which is this universe, is an open book for us. Anything that your eyes fall on, right? This is one of the ayat of Allah. Anything. Whether it's a creation of Allah, or a creation of Allah made it, which is also owned and created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He's the one that guided the human being to do whatever, right? So anything that we see is from the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's mentioned in many, many verses in the Quran that we need to ponder over these ayat. Disbelievers, those who are in a state of forgetfulness, they see these ayat of Allah, like for example the weather, mashallah, is nice and the sun and so on. What do they do with the ayat of Allah? A Muslim would witness the wisdom of Allah. This is happened by the wisdom of Allah. Increases one's iman. Being grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do things, mashallah, not haram for the sake of Allah, no problem. But when a person is in a state of forgetfulness, he thinks nothing of, does not think of the wisdom of Allah. Does not make him say subhanallah, alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah wa akbar, subhanallah wa bihamdi. Right? The ayat of Allah will lead the person to make dhikr and ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The other set of ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Quran. Is the signs, is the verses of the Quran, the deen of Islam. So the disbelievers, they deny the ayat of Allah both. When they deny that these favors from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they not grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will worship other than Allah. And when they deny the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that was revealed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then أولئك أصحاب النار. أولئك, these people are أصحاب النار. Ashab means, as they say, dwellers. But what's sahib, as we said before, the owner of something, the companion of something, it means he's always attached to it. He will not leave it whatsoever. Right? So these are the people of the hellfire. The hellfire has been created for them. They will never leave it whatsoever. هم فيها خالدون. أصحاب النار is enough to get the meaning of it, that they will be in it forever. But to make it clear and to stress this fact, هم فيها خالدون, they are indeed in it, خالدون. Khulud is everlasting, is forever. No end of their staying in the hellfire. After this, after the matter is so clear to the human beings, then the mention of the most important nation before the Prophet ﷺ that this ummah is supposed to learn from. And that is the nation of Bani Israel, children of Israel. Israel is Yaqub alayhi salam. So the descendants of Yaqub alayhi salam, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent so many messengers to them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from this ayah, verse number 40, starts with many things about them. For two reasons. That's first, let's see the verse number 40. يا بني إسرائيل اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم وأوفوا بعهدي أوفي بعهدكم وإياي فارهبون. Which means, the children of Israel, remember my favor which I bestowed upon you, and fulfill my covenant, so that I fulfill your covenant, and fear none but me, and more orders to come. And showing the affairs of Bani Israel, their characteristics, and what did they do with the messengers and prophets and so on, and many stories. The story of Musa is repeated all the time in the Quran for two reasons. This call is to Bani Israel, right? Ya Bani Israel. O Bani Israel. This is a call to them. So the reason for this call is to, as they say, is to call them really, because they are the first that's supposed to rush to follow the Prophet ﷺ. They should be the first. Why? Because they are followers, but they claim to be the followers of the messengers before the Prophet ﷺ. If they are true followers of Musa ﷺ, then they will be the first to follow the Prophet ﷺ. Especially when at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, why did they come to Al-Medina? The Jews in Syria, Sham, Palestine and so on, they came to Al-Medina for what reason? Because they were waiting for the Prophet ﷺ and the signs of the Prophet ﷺ and the mountains of Al-Medina. Every single detail was mentioned, even physical things in the Prophet ﷺ, Khatam al-Nubuwwah, actions of the Prophet ﷺ, and so on. So they were waiting for the Prophet ﷺ, and that's why they came to Al-Medina, and they would go around to the Arabs, the disbelievers, telling them this, and waiting for a Prophet to come, and once he comes, they would tell the Arabs that we will kill you and do this. Why? Because they were so much abused by them. right? So they're waiting for the Prophet to come and so on. But when the Prophet ﷺ was sent, they thought that he will be one of them, right? So when the Prophet ﷺ was sent, they denied him except those who believed in him. So this is a call for them, right? And it shows the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, calling them, reminding them, Ya Bani Israel, you're not like any other people. You're the sons of Israel, Yaqub alayhi salam. It's like when you, as in the Kathir rahimahullah, he mentioned this in his Tafseer, it's like when you want to advise someone, a child, a youth, right? You tell him, you're the son of so and so, you're the son of this generous man, right? Be good, do this, do that. Your father used to be a good person. So you make him what? You move in him, right? The eagerness to do what is good, so that he remembers that he is not just like, he's not like anyone else, right? He deserves, he should be the first to rush to do what is good, right? So this is the case when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls the people of the book to embrace the truth. Ya Ahl al-Kitab. What is more beautiful than this? Oh people of the book, they are the real people of the book, right? Because they had the books before the Quran. So calling them to remind them, and it's such a lenient call. That's why we learn in methods of da'wah. You don't say, Ya ayyuha kuffar, or you disbelievers come and believe. No, you remind them. You give them a soft speech, and you're not lying because this is the truth. To remind them of how they should be the first to come and embrace the truth. So here, Ya Bani Israel, this call that full of leniency and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, reminding Bani Israel of how many favors Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed onto them, so they should be the first. The second reason, as the ulama they say behind this call, is for the Muslims, for those who believe in the Prophet ﷺ and they follow him, that you need to learn, right, from this, that you should avoid the things that they did and to do the good things that they did. So, Ya Bani Israel, اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم. And Yaqub alayhi salam, he had his 12 sons, as it's mentioned in Surah Yusuf and so on, and from them, these are the 12 tribes of Bani Israel. اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم. So the first thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding them, and that would lead to calling them to follow the Prophet ﷺ and to embrace the same message of Musa alayhi salam. اذكروا means remember, right? And from it is the dhikr. اذكروا, this is an order. اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم. نعمتي, my favor. نعمتي can be mentioned as a singular thing, but it means plural, because the ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not just one, is endless bounties from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. التي أنعمت عليكم, the ni'mah that I bestowed on you, the favor and the favors that I bestowed on you. What are the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He bestowed on Bani Israel? Then you read the Quran and you find the many bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He saved them from Fir'aun, right? As Musa alayhi salam, he said to his people, قال موسى لقومه يا قوم اذكروا نعمة الله عليكم. Musa alayhi salam, he said to his people, اذكروا, the same thing, اذكروا نعمة الله عليكم. إذ جعل فيكم أنبياء, He made from among you prophets. وجعلكم ملوكا, He made among you kings. وآتاكم ما لم يؤت أحدا من العالمين, and He gave you what He didn't give any on the alamin at your time. No other nation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them what He gave you. Not just one messenger at a time, sometimes many messengers at the same time, many prophets at the same time. And the miracles that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided them and aided them with, and how He saved them from Fir'aun. Fir'aun يَسُومُنَهُمْ سُوءَ الْعَذَابِ, He used to torture them and abuse them so much. يُقَتِّلُونَ, and in other verses يُذَبِّحُونَ, they kill or they slaughter your sons, and He used to slaughter the men, and وَيَسْتَحْيِي نِسَاءَكُمْ, and He make your women servants to Him. وَفِي ذَلِكُمْ بَلَاءٌ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ عَظِيمٌ. This was severe torture and a test for them. Imagine, this is how and how Fir'aun would threaten them, and he had the means to do that. So they lived under the oppression of Fir'aun, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that saved them. They did not have the means to save themselves. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When He made them follow Musa alayhi salam, and when you know the story and how they passed from onto the other side. It's all by the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the human beings, and the sad thing about the human beings, after they would witness the bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they turn away and refer this to themselves. Or what did they do when they passed and they were saved from Fir'aun? وَجَاوَزْنَا لِبَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ الْبَحْرَ فَأَتَوْا عَلَى قَوْمٍ يَعْكُفُونَ عَلَى أَصْنَامٍ لَهُمْ. When they passed and they found some people worshipping idols. قَالُوا مُوسَى اجْعَل لَنَا إِلَهًا كَمَا لَهُمْ إِلَهٌ. They said, "O Musa, make ilah for us like they have ilah to worship." After they witnessed the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is this unique to Bani Israel? No. Human beings, they have this. They tend to be ungrateful. Right? Many people, like for example, you can take an example. I don't talk about politics and I don't understand politics. But when you see, for example, some places, I'm not relating this exactly the same way, but when people, they were saved from torture and from zulm and so on, like in case, for example, in Egypt, right? There was oppression, so much, right? Of course, people should have not done anything, but who is the one that changed the situation? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nobody can claim that they did anything, right? And I myself, I was there when all of these things happened. Nobody understood what is happening. It's all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nobody did anything. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed His favor upon the people, right, and relieved them from oppression and torture and so on, and as I told you before this revolution that happened, right, days before, right, I was walking in the streets of Cairo. I'm not from Cairo, but I was walking there, and an old man came to me and he grabbed me from my shirt like this, right, in a nice way, and he told me, "Till when?" Because you see a beard, then the Sheikh is walking, so he grabbed me like this. He said, "Till when, Sheikh, we will live like this?" Like just like that. The guy with tears in his eyes, right? So don't be patient, inshallah, things will be okay, things like this. But subhanallah, when everybody was rejoicing this, then what happened? Instead of being grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you see how when the people are fighting over the power and trying to deny even to some of them, I'm not saying everybody, but the thing is of not really being grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by wanting to be away from the deen of Islam, or some of them, whatever it is. So it's the same thing, always repeated on personal level too. A person has to be very careful that when a person is saved, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects the human being from evil and so on, and then instead of referring the ni'mah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a person will be in state of denial of this. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ordering Bani Israel to remember the bounty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unto them, التي أنعمت عليكم, which is mentioned in the Quran many things. وأوفوا بعهدي. So اذكروا نعمة Allah, this is an act of worship. So if the benefit, the call to them, right, is for them to understand this, for them to go away from their forgetfulness and to follow the way of the Prophet ﷺ, and also for us when we're reading this, okay, we need to be away from this. We should remember the bounties of Allah. So this is an act of worship, to remember the bounties of Allah. What does that mean? To be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the good things that some of the ulama, they say, which is exactly literally what the verse says. اذكروا, if we say to ourselves, اذكروا نعمة الله عليكم. Remember the bounties of Allah. What then when you do? You sit with yourself and you count the bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on you. You can make this as a subject with your family. Right? You're sitting with your wife and children, and each one, let's count how many bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He bestowed on us. And then people would start mentioning one after another. This is a good thing. This is a good thing, and of course you will never be able to count it, right? But it's a good thing because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered them to remember the bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So also we should remember the bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on us, but the bounties to us without knowledge, we might confuse it. If you don't have the proper knowledge, you might consider a ni'mah and ni'mah. Right? Ni'mah and ni'mah both are very close. One is with a qaf and one with ayn. Right? Ni'mah is the bounty. Ni'mah is the opposite, punishment from Allah. Some people might consider something that is a ni'mah was a punishment from Allah, but they would consider it ni'mah. Meaning, when they remember the bounties of Allah, and they would say, Alhamdulillah, Allah bestowed on us money, right? Remember this money that we got? Ni'mah from Allah. It should be, yes, it's a ni'mah from Allah. But then they use it for a sin. And they enjoy the sin. This is a punishment. This is a punishment. This is not ni'mah. When they use it for a sin, this is not a ni'mah. This is something so bad. But to the human being, he might not see this if his heart is not attached to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if there's no proper knowledge. So one of the great things to do to ourselves is to separate between the ni'mah and the opposite of it. The ni'mah is the thing that will get you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The ni'mah is the one that you won't regret in the day of judgment. Anything that we would regret in the day of judgment is not real ni'mah. It's ni'mah in its original form, yes, if we would have used it in the proper way. So someone else might consider death or loss of wealth or a calamity, he would consider this a ni'mah. Why? Because how did he react to this calamity? Of course, it's not ni'mah that you would ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for. It's not permissible to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for things that you don't like. You should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for al-afiyah, to be protected from all things. You ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the rest of this life and the hereafter and so on. But if something happened, you remember the bounties of Allah. So one of the things that happened in your life, something that, loss of something, right? But how was your reaction to it? Immediate response to it, that you were patient. That you did not say evil words, that you did not panic, right? You were sad, no problem, you had tears, no problem, this is all permissible. But you didn't say evil words, you did not do anything but being patient and being content. This is ni'mah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? If a person repented to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he might remember a sin. A sin is not a good thing, it's not a ni'mah, right? But you remember that you had repented to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from that sin. So the repentance is ni'mah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one very delicate meaning here, but only after repentance, a person might look back and some people, before they committed the sin, they were, Muslim making salah maybe, but not making it in the masjid, for example. Not really following the way the Prophet ﷺ is, just, regular guy. Although this is not regular, right? But anyway, he considered this is how we say things nowadays, which is distorted. But then he fell into a sin, and that sin caused so much fear in him that made him repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and change his whole entire life. And now he is following the way of the Prophet ﷺ and making sure that he followed the sunnah and so on. Was the sin a good thing for him? The sin is never a good thing, right? Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah, when he mentioned this, the sin is never a good thing. But the sin after that, the repentance, was a good thing for him, because he changed his whole entire life as a result of that, right? So this is something that a person would also remember. The Sahaba radiallahu anhu, they would sit sometimes in the masjid and remember the days of Jahiliyyah, and they would laugh and they would rejoice of the ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He bestowed to them, that He saved them from this. Not to remember to be proud of what they did and so on, of course not, but to remember the bounties of Allah. So this is a good thing that we need to take from this, that we would do this. اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم وأوفوا بعهدي أوفي بعهدكم ويا وأوفوا بعهدي. Fulfill my covenant. What is the covenant of Allah? To Bani Israel and to us and to all nations. But to Bani Israel it will come, right? And actually a few verses after that the bounties are mentioned, and so on. And also you would find that وإذ أخذنا ميثاق بني إسرائيل لا تعبدون إلا الله وبالوالدين إحسانا وبذي القربى واليتامى والمساكين وقولوا للناس حسنا وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة ثم توليتم إلا قليلا منكم. Here's the covenant. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that we took the covenant from Bani Israel, right? So that you would relate this to that. What is the covenant? Do not worship other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and be kind to the parents and to the relatives, the kin and kith, and the orphans and the poor and needy, and establish the salah and pay the zakat, right? And then most of you turned away and so on. So this is the covenant. So is it the same covenant or it's different? It's the same covenant that we have been taken from us, right? What happened to Bani Israel when they did not fulfill the covenant from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Quran will tell us. And the worst punishment that happened to them is that the hearts became sealed. فَبِمَا نَقَضِهِمْ مِيثَاقَهُمْ لَعَنَّاهُمْ وَجَعَلْنَا قُلُوبَهُمْ قَاسِيَةً يُحَرِّفُونَ الْكَلِمَ عَنْ مَوَاضِعِهِ. Because they broke their covenant, what happened? We cursed them and we made their hearts qasi, hard. And they would change and alter, right, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the punishments in this life. This is the real punishment. Not just in the hereafter, and the same punishment, because the sunnah of Allah is the same. لَيْسَ بِأَمَانِيِّكُمْ وَلَا أَمَانِيِّ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ. It is not by your wishes or the wishes of the people of the book. It's not just to them like someone read the Quran, yeah, how evil. Yes, how evil. But it's also for those who follow that. If a person follow the same way, they will subject themselves to the same punishment. Right? If a person would break his covenant with Allah, that means he's subjecting himself to the curse from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the heart becomes hard. What does that mean? It means the person would know the truth, would see the truth, right? And he would still turn away from it. And he would enjoy the path of sins and innovations and following other than the path of the Prophet ﷺ, right? And what is even worse, to change, to alter the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They did that physically because the books before the Quran was not saved. It was entrusted to the human beings to save it. But for the Quran, nobody can alter the Quran physically, right? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved it. Yes, they can make up something, but it would never stay because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved the Quran. But what is the alteration that can happen from this ummah? Changing, twisting the meanings, right? And this is the tahrif and the ta'weel, whether it's in the names and attributes of Allah that some of the deviant sects they did, or to some of the verses of the Quran distorting the meanings, right? So that they would follow their desires and make everything, whatever people like, they would make it according to what they desire. And the Quran, Hammal Awjum, can mean more than one thing, and things like this. When a person falls into this is a sign, not a crime only. This is a sign that that person is deprived from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a result of breaking the covenant with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the covenant is not just to Bani Israel, it's to every nation. So it's reminding them, right, that you need to hold fast to the covenant that you know well. And if you do this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will fulfill His covenant. What is the covenant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Is that He would bestow His favor upon them, that He would make them among the people of Jannah. And it's basically the same of Haqqullah al-ibad wa Haqqul ibadi ala Allah. The rights of Allah on the human beings is to worship Him alone. This is the covenant. And the haqq, the right of the human beings to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is haqq that is given to them by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not like a haqq that they deserve it. It's by the mercy of Allah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not punish those who will worship Him alone. Right? So this is basically the covenant, and the reward is given from the same sort of deed that people do. And the last thing is وَإِيَّايَ فَارْهَبُونَ. وَإِيَّايَ فَارْهَبُونَ. فَارْهَبُونَ meaning fear me, right? And وَإِيَّايَ starts not فَارْهَبُونِ, وَإِيَّايَ فَارْهَبُونَ. That means the fear should be exclusive to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And me you should fear. And when this is like this, that means it's exclusive. No one is to be feared except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because they did the opposite of that, and as a result of that, they disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And because of the event, we'll stop at this point. Inshallah ta'ala, there are more benefits of course to be learned, but it's important that we will ponder over these meanings and reflect upon ourselves to make sure that we are away from what is being clear. Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam.